Yes,
Good
everybody.
Monday
It
morning.
is Monday morning, the only podcast on earth
Ever
that's
in the
playing
world.
you licensed music
For nothing down.
for nothing.
Free.
For
We
free.
are the free podcast. And don't forget too, that we are also the gluten-free podcast.
Yes, we are now presented gluten-free.
Gluten-free for your pleasures. So if you're vegan, don't have to worry. If you're not vegan, don't have to worry. Lots of gluten and lots of non-gluten in our podcast. Gluten-free, that is.
So yes, no commercials. We don't have any commercials. I mean, the joke commercials that we play in between just to separate some time.
Oh yeah, just for our sponsors that actually do help us get along with time as well.
Yeah, our phony baloney sponsors that we made up. We also do that. We should give shout outs to them. But
All the
honestly,
time.
there's no commercials, and there won't ever be commercials. You know why? Because they can shove it. Also, we play licensed music. How come?
Shove
Because
it.
it's free. It's a free podcast. They don't get paid. We don't get paid. Nobody's getting paid.
Nobody's getting paid, and everybody is getting made to be super cool. And as you know, we are in the super cool stages, and we're right in the middle, in the midst of it all. In the midst of what all? The crazy Halloween, crazy, super scary edition of the Runner and Gunner podcast.
Yes.
Which means it's the scariest stories and the scariest editions. You got a question for me?
Are you ready for this, everybody? It is time! Starring Michael Jordan! Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Michael Jordan. And Bugs Bunny! What's up, Doc? And Daffy Duck! Suffering succotash. Everybody, we're here. We're about to give you the top 10 greatest villains ever of
your
all time.
lifetime, of our lifetimes, your lifetimes, everybody's life. And there's nobody scarier than these top 10 guys because they have done so much gruesome, so much insanity in your world. They will freaking tear you apart. They'll rip your guts and eat them. They'll tear them out. And then they'll freaking eat your intestines alive while you watch with your eyes wide open.
Yes! It is true.
And these are these top 10 psychopaths.
We're only
But
going to give you the people who didn't quite make the top 10, but then we're going to save the top 10 for after the death of Tupac and the death of Biggie Smalls.
And Tupac.
So, with that said,
All right, let's give him a little...
with number 14,
Number 14 is...
R.
R.
Kelly.
Don't ask why, just know he's not shy.
He is
And what
definitely
he
a
did
horror villain.
was villainy.
Villainous.
Volanio.
Number 13,
13.
which didn't quite make the list also, the top 10 is very, exclusive.
Yeah, it's an exclusive list, and you have to be super duper beyond evil
Beyond
to make it.
Just not beyond evil, but beyond maybe maybe cool. You're
Uncompromisable.
transversing
and insane.
the lines of what is cool,
Trans something.
But these people didn't make the list, so they're definitely not cool. So number
Yeah.
13, we have Michael Jackson.
Don't ask why, drink Bud Dry.
He is
So, we're
definitely
just
a horror
saying-
movie villain.
Yeah, maybe it could be the reconstruction of the face. We don't know the truth. Or it could be something else. Anyways, he made the list. And now
He made
we're
the
moving
list.
on.
Number 12, who
12
didn't quite
would
make the
be
list, is O.J. Simpson.
And just keep your ears peeled because there might be an actual guest surprise with O.J. Simpson in the list. So we're not sure if he made the list, but
So he's
he's
made
up there.
Naked Gun Part 1, Naked Gun Part 2, and Naked Gun Part 3. And right after he done filmed that, then he killed
Naked.
and murdered.
Naked people.
Number 11, which didn't quite
Might
make
make the list as well, was Gremlin's own
Spike. Gremlins from Spike. Spike from Gremlins.
Gizmo Kaka.
Yeah, Gizmo Kaka.
Gizmo Kaka, best line in Gremlins too. Mad props to the writers for that one.
My favorite part was that the grandpa from Three Ninjas was in it, and he sold Gizmo to Billy.
He shouldn't have, which is a big mistake.
It's a big
Because
mistake.
all Billy did was water them like plants and feed them
That's the first thing
like
he did.
ants.
And then
So
so
two things you
Spike
don't do.
is Gizmo's son.
Gizmo Kaka, Gizmo Kaka.
All right, everybody, we're gonna get into this show, and it is gonna get very scary.
Oh wait, we forgot about the extra villain, who was the Gremlins' old man Asian guy at the store.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh yeah,
The grandpa from Three Ninjas.
Karate Kid, Ninja, Part 3.
Johnny's
Johnny's best friend.
Johnny is a villain, right? Didn't he murder?
Oh, Oh, he did.
You didn't see it, but on part 1.5, Johnny murders.
Yeah, it was Karate Kid 1.5.
Yeah, he's having a chicken drive with this guy, and he runs him off the road, and he goes to the hospital where he's pronounced dead. They didn't show that. Maybe you could YouTube it
because
or Google.
Johnny did a backflip on top of his roof of his car, jumped backwards, and then the Karate Kid witnessed it all, but ran home to Mr. Miyagi and didn't tell a soul.
Yes, so if you don't believe us, go ahead on your little Google and look it up.
Karate Kid 1.5.
And you can watch Karate Kid with Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san. Yeah.
Listen,
everybody, we got a caution to tell you that this episode's about to get very dark.
And scary.
And very, very scary.
So before we actually say this episode, we got to give you a warning. So warning to all you children out there, everybody under the age of 12, you might want to either plug your ears or be prepared to be scared.
Or just turn off the episode until a little bit later, then turn back on the episode.
Yeah. Go play
when
Mario
all the scary
and
stuff
Sega.
is turned off. I mean, over. When all the scary stuff is over, turn it back on.
Then you can turn it back on and it's back to the good stuff.
Just fast forward it. You know, you got the Spotify, just put your little slider over, fast forward this part because it's too scary for you kids.
Mm-hmm. So we'll take about 20 minutes into the episode, and then you will see what's happening after that. Which we announced the villains of the century. I mean, of the millennium. I mean, of the
year.
World.
The best villains.
The best villains of all time is what we're talking about. Of all time this year.
All right, so everybody, let's get into the show.
Shall we?
Tupac Shakur, whose name was LaShawn Parrish Crooks, was born on June 16th, 1971.
Tupac.
Machiavelli, Tupac, does that ring a bell? LaShane.
Tupac.
Little LaShane Jr. Parrish Crooks.
Shout out to his mama, Feeny. Sup, Feeny, rest your soul.
The year was 1971. The Beatles had just broken up. Elvis was in Vegas. And the world was heading for sure disaster.
It did look like the 70s were going to be terrible, didn't it?
Yeah, you know.
But Mr. Feeney was pushing on hard. And here was Tupac going on through the deep depths of he didn't know where.
Give me shelter.
And then he came out of the womb and he said, wow, I feel like I'm going to be a Black Panther. And he accomplished that because he was born into Black Pantherism, or into the Black Panther Party, to be exact. So, which is very cool, and much respect to that.
Yeah. Her
all
name
you
was
guys.
Afeni Shakur.
Afeni, we love you. Rest her
Afeni
soul.
Shakur.
She's not with us anymore. Rest her soul.
Relocated the family to Baltimore, Maryland.
Maryland, huh?
And if you've never been to Maryland, let us tell you that it has excellent crabs and lobsters.
It sure does, man. Right on the shore. Good stuff. But you see, Tupac was kind of in the poverty section of Maryland. So he couldn't afford those big crabs and lobsters. He was more eating cookies and peanut butter, crackers and peanut butter and things like that, like peanut butter sandwiches and, turning your stove on instead of buying a heater because it was too expensive with electricity because the lights were out and things were crazy. So it was rough times in Baltimore, Maryland, that is. And he grew up with his mom,
Afeni,
and he did have, his dad was never actually there, but Afeni decided to name him after his stepfather,
LaShane.
But then she named him Tupac.
After an Indian.
After a warrior.
An Indian warrior.
A great warrior.
Indigenous.
That was ready to do great things. So she knew right away, as a little kid, she seen something special in this young little child. She seen gifts inside him that were just bursting and waiting to come out and to show the world and to make the world a better place. And little did he know that he was growing up with music that will inspire him to become one of the greatest artists of all time. I'm not going to say hip-hop artist, I'm going to say artist itself.
But the mom was fooling everybody because the Indian warrior who she named her son after was beheaded in Peru.
No. That's pretty sad.
Was she setting the fate for her son by changing his name from LaShane? Maybe she knew the boy and saw it in his eyes that he will be beheaded just like Tupac II.
Tupac number 2. Yeah,
the
he was
Incan
actually beheaded.
Indian warrior.
Wow.
who was beheaded in Peru in 1781.
Wow. That is insane. And another thing is he had an older stepbrother named Mopreme Konmani Shakur. And he had a half-sister.
Wow. He's got siblings. He knows how to share.
2 years his junior. So she was his little junior. A little mini Tupac girl. You know, so Shakur's
he also had a
parents.
stepfather, Mutulu.
Mm-hmm.
Mutulu Shakur.
Mutulu was Kulu.
Mutulu was wanted by the Fibbies.
FBs. By the bees.
The bees. He was
The birds
wanted
and the
heavily
bees.
by the bees. The bees were around the house. The bees
The
had
birds and the
microphones in their baloney.
Yeah. And they were listening to every unphony baloney conversation that they were having, which would eventually cause a lot of people to go to a lot of bad places behind bars. It shouldn't have been, but at the time, I mean, that's just the way things were back then.
So the time was the 80s. Tupac lived in San Francisco.
Woo! Up north.
And he was
Marion
becoming
County, to be exact.
a very decorated young artist.
Yes, he was.
What does he do? What's that term? Posthumous.
Posthumous artist.
He became a posthumous artist.
Posthumously.
And
artistly.
posthumous he became with his posthumous arts.
Yeah, he was great.
He started climbing the ladders in San Francisco as kind of like some celebrityism.
So what he really started, I mean, in Baltimore, we didn't mention that he did go to acting school, and that's where he met Will Smith's current wife, but we're not going to get into all that.
Jada?
Even though
Oh, yeah.
They became greatest friends, and she
You know
still
that
talks about him till this
Tupac
day.
was dating Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about his wife that way.
Yeah, we're gonna keep Will Smith.
But we're going to say that
wife's name
that
out of
Will
our mouths.
Smith is dating Tupac's girl. And you could tell that she loves Tupac more still.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, that's a whole other
That's a whole
episode.
different, it's a whole different day. And for now, we're going to tell you guys. So he moved from Maryland to Marion County, which is near Frisco Bay Area. And this was in 1988. And then he started figuring things out. He started hitting the streets right there. And that's where he started getting really street and really hood.
Yeah, just like his grandfather.
He was in the ghetto.
Elmer.
Yeah.
Grandpa Elmer.
Grandpa
Uncle
Elmer.
Or Uncle Elmer, depending on
Uncle Elmer.
what perspective you're looking at.
Yeah. And so, yes, he did go into Marion County, and he got crazy over there. He started off with Digital Underground as a roadie, okay? He did start off as a roadie, but he was a rapper at the same time.
Not a jabroni,
Not
but
a
a
jabroni,
roadie.
but a roadie. So he
putting
was
in
a
the work.
dancer. Yeah, he was putting in work. He was a great dancer. What
Videos did he come out
crowd.
as a dancer?
Humpty Dance, man. Humpty
Yeah.
Dance.
It's your chance to hump dance.
Do my
He got the
baby.
moves from his grandmother, Asada.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Asada, Afeni, Ahamada. And they were all...
Shakur,
They were all great people.
who was a former member of the Black Liberation Army.
Oh, yes. Kicking butt, and that is what is up. So, yes, after he became
Shakur
this
struggled with
famous
drug
dancer,
addiction.
Doug?
Doug Funny.
Dig Dug? I like that game. Dig Dug also came out in the 80s.
Tupac definitely had a Nintendo. He had a Sega Genesis.
And he played Dig Dug.
He didn't make it to the Nintendo 64, but he did have it when it first released. He was a Nintendo fan. Tupac Shakur actually loved Mario for the NES.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually well known that he played
Known
the Batman
facts.
game.
Facts, right
Just
there.
for the video game aspect of the Runner and Gunner podcast. Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast. Yes, Tupac was a Nintendo NES fan.
He was a great fanatic, actually.
And so was Biggie, but that's much later in the episode.
That's after.
Yes,
But yes.
Tupac, he struggled with drug addiction.
Tupac.
He sat there all day in front of the NES, smoking pot and playing video games. Like a dumbass.
Didn't we all? I mean, yeah, like a dumbass.
Aren't we all?
I mean, yeah. But yeah, so he did start off with Digital Underground. And then after they heard him rapping, the first song he ever rapped in was All Around the World is the same song. And that was the first song with Digital Underground. And they allowed him to rap because they knew that Tupac could rap already because he had displayed his freestyles.
He was studying Shakespeare.
And he studied the greatest of them all the greatest poets and the greatest prophets. And so that's where he got everything from, his whole skill and his whole way of rhyme schemes and all that good stuff. And yeah, so he did end up finally becoming something after that All Around the World, the same song, when he did that first little verse. But I mean, that verse was like the highlight of the track. And everybody was like fast forwarding it to the Tupac part. Let me hear that again. And it's the same old song, and so all around the world. I'm sure you guys, if you haven't heard
MC
that song,
New York.
go look it up. Oh yeah, he was MC New York.
MC New York.
Before anything.
Yes.
Before he even moved to San Francisco area.
So, he started attending poetry readings at the Layla Steinberg Institution. Dude was on it.
He was
going for it.
He was ready. He was preparing.
He was into the arts.
He was
He's living up to his name.
He was sharpening his brain. He was keeping his brain sharp.
What about the digital underground?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, the digital underground. After the digital underground happened, finally Tupac was ready to cut a solo deal.
Cut that solo deal in 1991, something like that, and it came
91.
Tupacalypse Now.
That is Tupacalypse Now, yeah.
And then Thug Life.
Thug Life.
And then the Notorious B.I.G. and Junior Mafia.
Yeah.
And then Me Against the World. All Eyes on Me after that.
All Eyes on Me was the big one.
Followed by...
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me say something real quick. That Me Against the World was the first time that someone had ever had the #1 album while being incarcerated. And that is a fact.
And having
while being
very
incarcerated.
large fingers.
Yeah.
Then he put out the posthumous albums. Hold on, the guy was in jail and he had the #1 hit album?
He had the #1 album while in jail, and that's
and he was
only
the first
time
and only?
For one and only. He's the only one ever of all time.
To have a #1 hit album.
While
See,
locked
listen
up.
to that, Lenny's.
While locked up.
You think that you're hard? Well, then have a #1 hit album. You don't even have albums no more. You just
While
have
you're locked
singles.
up. And people
How about this? Have 3 #1 hit singles while being incarcerated.
And he had people writing to him. As a matter of fact, his favorite actor of all time was a guy named Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey wrote him various letters, and so did John Travolta, surprisingly.
For reals?
Yeah. So did John Travolta,
publicist wrote it,
surprisingly. This is true.
Handwritten?
And, handwritten by Jim Carrey, John Travolta, and...
that makes me sick.
They expected Madonna to go visit him while he was incarcerated. He got to take 2 showers that night. She didn't show up.
11.
But he still did get to take 2 showers, so that was kind of cool.
All right. He started making movies. He went back to his poetry, Shakespeare knowledge.
To the roots of it all.
To the roots. And started making movies. Became an actor by, starring in little cameo appearances like Nothing But Trouble and, the Digital Underground movie. And Juice.
Juice was a big one. Yeah, that was a big one. That was a good one.
Then he was, in Poetic Justice. And
another big one with Janet Jackson. Higher Learning.
The guy did it.
Yeah,
he was the sheriff in Menace to Society.
Oh, man.
And he played the gangsta in Above the Rim.
Yeah, Above the Rim was a big one, too. With Marlon Wayans. That's when him and Marlon Wayans became friends.
And after his death,
in Juice, they became friends.
3 more cameos were released. The ghosts of Tupac continued to reign. He starred in Bullet.
That was for Tupac.
Gridlocked. And the gang-related movie.
Gang-related soundtrack, which also became platinum.
After his death.
Ooh, man.
Tupac has been rumored to be spotted around New York still.
I seen him.
Some say that he's still alive. And
I seen him yesterday.
Death was a hoax.
We had breakfast last night.
So that he could live in seclusion. Runner had breakfast with him last night.
I also drank a bottle of Hennessy with him this morning.
So I believe it. Tupac is alive. But before
he might be.
He lived, he died.
He died before he lived.
On the night of September 1996.
Here we go.
Shakur was in Vegas, Nevada to celebrate his business partner, Tracy Danielle Robinson's birthday.
Ooh.
And attended the Bruce Sheldon versus Mike Tyson boxing match.
Oh, man.
With Suge Mother-Loving Night.
Yes.
At the MGM Grand.
Big fight.
Afterwards, they started beating each other's face. And you know what happened.
Yep. Some mysterious man stuck his hand outside of a white Cadillac as they were driving on the boulevard where there were so many spectators, and all you heard in the sound was caps being peeled or gunshots, and all you saw was a lot of smoke from the gunshots, and the mysterious car disappeared within the smoke of the gunshots fired that night. Tupac was still alive when the ambulance arrived. They took him to the nearest hospital in Las Vegas, Nevada, where on September 13th, he was pronounced dead.
Yep. About midnight, the white four-door late model Cadillac sedan pulled up to the passenger side and shot Shakur 4 times. Once in the arm, once in the thigh, and twice through the middle of his chest. With one bullet entering his right lung, shards of bullets went straight into his brain,
piercing his brain.
Shakur's bodyguard, Frank, wasn't even there to help. Is it suspicious? I think so.
And in this particular night, Mr. Shakur usually would wear his bulletproof vest. But for some reason, during this particular event, even though he had the legal right within himself and within the state of Nevada to wear that bulletproof vest, he didn't have it on. Now, would it have made a difference if he did have it on or not? That will always remain a mystery.
Tupac was taking out his girlfriend, Kadada Jones.
Beautiful, beautiful lady.
Kadada Jones says that she kissed him on the cheek one last time and held his big hand in hers and said, "I'll be right behind you with the bodyguard. He's driving me home." Sounds suspicious?
Possibly.
I think so. Yes, when Shakur was taken to the hospital, he had already bled out and suffocated on his blood. Took him to the intensive care.
The ICU.
And just about afternoon, on September 13th, as Runner had stated earlier, 1996, Shakur left the earth.
Goodbye, Tupac.
The official cause of death was respiratory failure.
Love and happiness. Yeah.
And so, on that faithful September 13th, 1996, we sent Tupac off to heaven.
And there he goes.
And he still floats above us, looking down, saying he loves all his fans, and he wants to say he loves everybody for following his music, for listening to his poetry, for watching his movies, and for being awesome and great fans.
Yes, everybody, that is Shakur's death.
That was the scary Tupac Shakur's death.
So also Tupac was shot before that, and he lived.
Yeah.
The man got shot multiple times. And he lived in suffering and constant pain, as the bullets were never lodged completely out of his bones, and he lived in pain, in suffering, in excruciating pain for the last months of his life. Was it months?
Years.
Years.
Couple years.
Pain for years.
About a year, 2 years.
What year did he get shot?
I think in 94. So that's about 2 years. Yeah, he got shot first time in 94. So I believe, about 2 years or so, or a little more than 2 years. But yes, it's sad. It's tragic. And it was a dumb ordeal. You know, none of this stuff should happen. But this young man, okay, this is the most tragic part about this young man. I mean, it's all tragic. But he was only 25.
In 1993, Shakur was arrested in Atlanta for shooting 2 off-duty police officers, brothers Mark and Scott Whitwell. The Atlanta police claimed the shooting occurred after the brothers were almost struck by the car carrying Shakur while they were crossing the street. They argued with the driver, so Shakur pulled up next to them and shot them in the butt and the stomach.
I mean, it wasn't that funny, but it was kind of funny.
Karma?
He got shot in the booty. Ow! Did you say ow?
Ouchies.
No, but anyways, he got acquitted for that, though, also, because there was that was a big deal, and he got acquitted for that one.
According to some witnesses, Shakur and his entourage had fired in self-defense as Mark Whitwell shot first.
It was it was not even a violation. I think the off-duty cops were drunk, too. They were drunk off-duty cops.
Oh, man, really?
Yes.
On November 30th, 1994, while in New York recording verses for a mixtape of RnG, Shakur was repeatedly distracted by his beeper. Music manager James Jimmy Henchman Rosemond reported offering Shakur $7,000 to stop by the studios in Times Square that same night to record with his client. Shakur was unsure, but agreed. When he got there to the lobby, 3 men robbed and beat him at
Dressed
gunpoint.
in masks. Nobody knew who they were. You couldn't identify them because all they had was 2 holes in their eyes and 1 hole in their mouth to breathe. Nobody ever identified them.
When Shakur resisted, he was shot.
And how he resisted was trying to pull a gun out of his belt, which he was holding, which he always carried a strap. So as he was pulling the strap out, he got shot.
The next day, he was tried for a brutal case that you could go ahead and search on the internet.
Yeah. We don't know if it's true or not.
1994, Shakur got shot, tried, and had to pay $25,000 bond. 2 years later, he was dead, as he proclaimed that it was a setup.
By who?
Notorious B.I.G.
Oh, man.
So
Well,
Shakur, from 1994 to 1996, lived in constant suffering.
And constant pain from one of his best friends who he thought he could trust. And he said that this man set him up. One of his best friends ever. I mean, so he was so upset, hurt, and confused all in one. And plus he was getting tried. And then he got convicted as well. So all kinds of crazy stuff, which made Tupac Shakur very uneasy. He was never the same after this.
Living witnesses to rapper Tupac Shakur's 1996 murder is facing charges for his murder. Earlier today, a grand jury in Nevada handed down this indictment. Dwayne Davis admitted to being in the car that was used in the drive-by shooting in his 2019 tell-all.
You guys heard it there.
So,
There it is. You
will
guys
there
heard
be
it.
justice?
Will it justice be served?
Will there be justice for Pac?
Tupac.
You know, we're not sure.
We're not sure what's gonna happen, but this is to be concluded probably not till sometime around 2024.
So everybody
gonna
out
take a
there,
while.
happy Halloween.
Ooh,
We hope that
man.
you're nice and scared.
That was spooky.
We hope that you heard a lot of words like murder and gunshots.
Blood, guts.
Yes, it's Halloween, everybody. We want you to have a good time. It's Monday morning. Have yourself a sip of your coffee.
Yeah, have yourself a
You have
sip,
a bowl
relax.
of rice sitting next to you. Why don't you grab yourself your bowl of rice and start chowing down on some grains?
Yeah, and you know what? We got to go to a quick break, but we want you guys to be prepared because this is not only the first one, but it's not the worst one. They're both just as equally great and amazing. And the crazy thing is the connection between these 2 deaths are so greatly amazing. But we're going to let you know about that. And there's so much more coming up. We still got the top 10 craziest killers of all time.
Yes,
Horror
we
flick
do.
killers, that is. And we will let you guys know all that and so much more
After these commercial breaks. Everybody out there, it's the Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast. This Christmas
Christmas
2023,
is upon us, everybody.
we are going to tell you very Christmassy stories.
It's gonna snow. It's gonna be beautiful. There's gonna be gifts under the tree. The candles are gonna be lit. The chestnuts are gonna be burning over the open flame.
The
There's
mistletoe is going to be
Thanksgiving,
hanging.
and there's gonna be a lot of girls hanging out with you. If you
Christmas, everybody, and we got the very special Christmas episode of the Runner and Gunner Podcast. Christmas episodes, as we will tell one story every week for 4 weeks.
and it's like unwrapping your favorite present of all time.
All
Picture
concluding-
that 4 weeks in a row.
With the finale of a gift from us to you.
Yeah, we're gonna give you the greatest gifts and the greatest Christmas. So you guys got to stay tuned for it. It's just going to get greater and greater and more giving and loving and family orientated and all that good, warm, lovely stuff. But at the same time, it's going to be awesome.
Yes, everybody. So come join us for Christmas 2023. The Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast presents to you Christmas stories.
Hey, man, where's my Christmas tamales?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast.
What's up, everybody
Halloween
out there?
special.
We got the scary, very scary special. And we want to let you guys know that this one is a big one. How big? I would say, in closing, about 300 pounds. About 6'5". About
Huge.
20 cheeseburgers.
300
for dinner.
McDonald's cheeseburgers.
That's a whole lot. So this one is huge, and it's a huge case. Another one that is blown wide open, just like him. No, it was blown wide open, and nobody knew the truth of what actually happened that fateful night.
Yes. So before we get into this,
that, cheers, Gunner!
have a Monday morning crack for you, everybody. It is Monday morning. We're trying to let you have a good time. Yes, it's the Halloween special.
Good Monday morning to everybody.
Hopefully it's not too stupid or it doesn't scare you, or, you know, we don't want it to scare you too much.
Don't
Last
let it
week's
scare you too
episode
much.
was pretty scary. We're going to try to avoid being too scary, too over the top with the
censors
violence.
got at us at that one. They were kind of mad. Censors were a little pissed off because there was a report of a lot of wet underwear and a lot of
Yes, dirty
soaking
diapers,
car seats and-
soiled diapers.
and a lot of bad stuff that shouldn't have happened. So we're trying to tone it down just a little bit for you guys. But
Yes.
still,
Before we
it's
get into
still
this, we want you to go
spooky.
ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to us if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're not, then forget about what I just said.
Yeah. If you're not, then take off your bra. Then just listen up to what's about to happen for y'all.
Just like, you know,
Tupac, what happened with
just
Tupac?
like Tupac.
We're gonna tell the same tale, but
yeah.
in a whole different perspective and whole different
Because they were like parallels of each
Yeah,
other.
they were very, and actually they were best friends. That's what we didn't talk about in the first one, is that they actually met up together. Who are we talking about? Tupac, who we just talked about, and now we're talking about Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G.
He loved to party in Los Angeles. Wallace, also known as Biggie Smalls, was shot from a passing vehicle. He had been named Rap Artist of the Year at the Billboard Awards in 1995. He was considered a rival of West Coast rapper Tupac Shakur, who was fatally shot in September in Las Vegas. A nationally
Wow. See, just months after the occurrence of the last one we talked about, another legend, another great
And they were
artist.
directly related.
Directly.
Christopher George Latour Wallace was
Better
born.
known as
Better known as,
the Notorious B.I.G.
a.k.a. Biggie Smalls.
Biggie.
He was born in St. Mary's Hospital in New York City. New York City, just
New
like
York?
his fellow friend and rival,
New
Tupac.
York City.
I love everything, especially the salsa from
This
New
ain't
York
Pace.
City. I love everything from New York City. I love even the salsa.
Ah,
And I
even
also
the carne
love
asada?
the pizza. The carne asada is better in California. Come
Okay,
on.
thank you. Okay, thank you for
Yes.
giving me that one.
All right, yes. He was born to Jamaican immigrants who didn't know the gang world of New York, who didn't know the sophisticated criminal underground.
So are you saying that they were completely clueless?
Maybe not completely clueless. Maybe
To
they
it
had
all.
a hand in guiding him in the wrong direction, as his father was a devout politician.
Oh.
Working with the city, he obviously knew something and was allowing his son to
So
go
he
out
knew a
there.
little bit of the crookedness is what you're saying.
Maybe naivety had a little hand in this play.
Possibility of a certain little bit.
Biggie Smalls dropped out of high school at 17 years old.
Why? Kids, don't do that. Stay smart. Stay in school.
He also began rapping. So dropping out, rapping, it happens, kids.
Sometimes hand in hand. Sometimes, but not all the time. The smartest rapper stayed in school and went to college.
Yes.
I can't name them all by hand right now, but there's some. Maybe one.
Biggie Smalls, he was fat. He liked Cheetos. He had orange lips because he was always eating Cheetos. They called him lips. They'd be like,
just big-boned.
his friends knew him as Orange Lips because he always had Cheeto stains all over his lips and clothes.
big dinosaur bones.
He was in and out of jail. He was, deep into crime at a young age. Although he was very smart, he was excelled in English.
Also deep into pizzas at a young age.
Deep dish pizzas, that is. The man grew up in California.
No, New York.
I mean...
Yeah, he grew up in New York. Brooklyn, that is. Brooklyn, New York.
Did I say California? I meant Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, he was straight from Bedford-Stuyvesant. Shout out to Bedford-Stuyvesant. Shout out to New York. Yeah, we love you guys too. And we hope you guys are listening because the shout outs are for you guys. And yeah, Biggie Smalls, he was just a big old bundle of joy, and he loved to he actually was raised in a church home and a very religious home. His mom was very religious and very
Catholic.
for the Catholicism.
Catholicism.
Cathology, and she studied Cathology her whole life. And so what they did was they went to church every freaking weekend, and Biggie was into it. Biggie was part of the choir, actually.
He was a good
he
boy.
Used to wear glasses. He was cool,
They said he had the
good-looking
highest pitched voice out of any of the other boys.
And he also had the highest amount of pizza in his belly out of all.
Yeah, the highest cholesterol for a young man.
No.
On August 8th, 1993, Jan Jackson, Wallace's longtime girlfriend, gave birth to his first son.
He got Janet Jackson pregnant? So we're saying that Tupac was in a movie with Janet Jackson.
Not Janet, Jan.
My bad.
Not Janet, but just Jan.
Proceed.
The couple parted soon after that, and she raised Chubby's boy the entire rest of her life. He's still alive today.
Oh,
So
yeah, he's
Biggie's
actually
got
Biggie Jr.
He's a father. He's got some kids that
he's
he
got
left
two.
behind.
He's got a boy and a girl, actually, from two different women.
Yes, he began working in the rap world as he busted through.
Wait a minute. I thought he started working at the age of 17, where he actually started working in the pharmaceutical industry, but a street pharmacy, actually. He was a street pharmacist for a little while, and actually he got caught with weapon charges in 1989 in Brooklyn and was sentenced to 5 years probation. But then in 1990, he violated his probation like a dummy. And a year later, Wallace was arrested in North Carolina for dealing crack cocaine. He spent 9 months in jail before finally making bail. Who bailed him out? Tupac.
And
his best friend.
That's what you got to know, is that when he signed labels, he started blowing up. He started signing labels in like 1991 and continued climbing the corporate music world ladder until 1993 when he met Puffy Combs.
Puff Daddy.
And he departed from his Uptown Records.
Uptown, downtown.
And, the rest is history.
And then he met up with his label mates, of course, Heavy D and the Boys, Big Heavy D. So, and then they got in the song A Bunch of Boys, and that song did pretty good, and they celebrated by going to Shakey's, and they had to kick everybody out of the Shakey's. And at the bunch of lunch, Heavy D, Biggie Smalls, and the Boys were enjoying the biggest festival of all time.
He was also married
that's a different
to
story.
Faith Evans. He hung out with people like Puffy Combs and Busta Rhymes. The Junior Mafia.
Busta Rhymes cool. So was Junior Mafia.
Shaquille O'Neal was one of his friends.
Oh, Shaq. Oh, they actually made a song together.
Daz Dillinger.
Diggity Daz. He's a West Coast guy, too.
He also hung out with Michael Jackson once, where he said that I wouldn't trust Michael Jackson with no kids.
How?
As we know that Michael Jackson is number 13 in the list of most heinous horror movie villains. He began a feud.
I think he did say that, right?
He did. He said that he wouldn't trust Michael Jackson with kids.
Maybe he didn't buy enough cotton candy at his little fairy town, whatever it's called. Neverland. My bad.
Maybe he saw Michael Jackson eating too much cotton candy and got jealous.
Yeah, maybe he got jealous of the cotton candy machine, or
But we know.
maybe he could fit on the elephant's ride and he got pissed.
But we know that Biggie didn't make that horror movie list, and Michael Jackson did. So, anyways, that's for a different horror episode.
Yeah, it's a different time. And
Next year, we're going to talk about Michael Jackson's death. But this year, we're talking about Biggie.
Biggie Smalls.
He started a feud with Tupac Shakur.
Before that, let's talk about his first big mix, the big song that actually caught everybody's ear and eye and attention, which was Real Love. Real Love by Mary J. Blige was already a great song. And so he was in the remix version of Real Love. If you look it up, it's a pretty dang good song. So that's how he actually started. And then he made a song called Party and BS, which was on the Who's the Man soundtrack, the movie. In 1994, he appeared with LL Cool J and Craig Mack's Flavor in Your Ear. Flavor in Your Ear was pretty cool. It reached number 9. But this is Real Love, Mary J. Blige.
It sucks. Everybody out there, we just want you to take a sip. Rewind. It's a Monday morning. We're going a little overtime right now.
And unwind.
But don't worry, we're going to get to that top 10 horror movie villain list.
We know you guys are anticipating it, but we got to finish talking about this Biggie Small stuff because this is a big deal. And it's so insane how him and Tupac had so much in common, yet they died such a similar way and fashion.
Yes. So in 1996, Biggie was arrested a lot and lots of accusations and lots of, arrests and
he was
criminal charges.
Yeah, criminal stuff too. Same stuff.
Including, something about him having to do with Shakur's murder.
Shakur.
He also
the
had
FBI was actually looking after him. The fibs.
They were also looking after Shakur. They were putting microphones in every food item that Biggie had.
Yeah,
and he had many.
And mysteriously, they all disappeared. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows except for the bees. The FBs say that the last sound they heard was crash. On March 8th, 1997, Wallace attended the Soul Train Awards after party hosted by Vibe, the magazine.
Ooh, man. Yeah, they were big back then. Vibe was where it's at.
Guests included Evans,
Faith,
Aaliyah, the Bloods and the Crips, the real ones. The gangs were there.
Oh, you want to know a crazy side story? Let me tell this story real quick.
All right.
I heard a story from Shaquille O'Neal himself. And Biggie Smalls had just called Shaq and personally wanted to invite him there. And Shaq was like, all right, I'm going to go. So what did Shaq do? Laid his head down, took a nap, slept through it all, and when he woke up, he found out the horrible horror of the reality that happened that night.
Wow. So, the Angels
and that's a true story from Shaquille O'Neal himself. Shout out to Shaq.
The Angels put Shaquille O'Neal to sleep.
Yeah, they did. And luckily he wasn't there because he said he might have been by his side.
Because they were very close friends, Big and tall. Big and fat. Tall and fat. Laurel and Hardy. It just,
Moo-moos?
It just attracts each other. So at just about midnight, the after party was closed down due to overcrowding. It must have been huge. Keanu Reeves must have been there.
Keanu Reeves was there.
Johnny Depp was definitely there.
Johnny there was having white rings around his nose because he was eating a lot of donuts. Powdered donuts. Powdered sugar. Anyway, so there was a lot.
Wallace left with his entourage, and he went left with his associates Damien, Butler, and Little Cease. The driver Gregory was also there.
What's up, Gregory?
Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, what's his name now? Pee-Pee? He traveled in the other vehicle with 2 bodyguards. 2 trucks were trailed.
Diddy Pee-Pee?
By a Chevrolet Blazer.
So is it true that he stopped to do a pee-pee? Did he?
Carrying the bad boy director, Paul Orva.
Oh, no.
The streets were crowded. Red light district. automotive empire.
Yeah.
A black Chevy Impala.
Impala.
Not that same Chevy Blazer with Paul Orford, but a new Chevy. A dark Chevy. A blacked out Chevy with dark tinted windows.
Yo.
Pulled alongside Big Boy's truck.
Big boy.
The Impala then lowered its window.
An arm stuck out.
An arm, a African arm.
African-American arm. Stuck out.
In a blue suit with
And
blue
a bow
gloves.
tie.
A bow tie that was also blue.
Don't forget about that Chippendales bow tie. He just left the shift.
A white button-up shirt with the cufflinks. The gold cufflinks. That's all they remember is the gold, blue cufflinks.
And the cufflinks.
All right, we got it. Someone pulled up to his car and stuck out their hand with blue gloves in a blue suit.
And a lovely bow tie. Straight from JCPenney. $15.99 at the time.
And gloves straight from TJ Maxx.
$10.99.
Is also sponsored by TJ Maxx.
And JCPenney.
He stuck out his hand, and lo and behold, he was carrying a 9mm
9mm.
gun.
That's terrible. It's terrible.
Stuck it out the window, pointed it at Big Boy's belly, and fired. 4 shots hit Biggie, just like the 4 shots that hit Tupac. 4 for 4. Blood for blood.
Wow. And then what happened after that?
Bang, 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 bang. Smacked. Every single one of them smacked. He was an easy target. Smack, 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 smack. 4 smacks. All straight into his body. His friends rushed him to Cedar Sinai, the old age home.
Yeah.
The medical center. These guys were playing around.
The big one, but
The doctors, they performed an emergency thoracotomy.
they had to get a forklift to raise him on the gurney.
But he was pronounced dead by 1:15 a.m.
Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. New York, Brooklyn. We love you guys.
He was 24 years old.
On a brighter note, on October 29th of that same year, 1996, his then wife, Faith Evans, gave birth to Wallace's son, Christopher C.J. Wallace Jr. So what's up, C.J.?
What's up,
Peace.
CJ? Hopefully you're listening to the show, the Runner and Gunner podcast. Hopefully this show's getting out to you.
Just know that we love Biggie, we love Tupac, we love everybody who loves them too, and especially we love you guys for listening to the Runner and Gunner podcast.
So his autopsy, which was released 15 years later.
Why? 15 years?
I'll tell you why.
Why did it take so dang long?
Because that's when Michael Jackson died. You see what I mean? Everybody knows that's a conspiracy. You can look it up on YouTube. Am I making it up? Perhaps, but you could still search it for YouTube. Maybe the Zuck will get wind of it, and he'll make some rumors about Michael Jacko and Biggie Smalls.
And it showed that only the final shot
Was fatal.
It entered through his right hip and struck his booty, liver, heart, left lung before stopping in his left shoulder.
It ripped from the bottom to the top all the way through,
Wow.
ripping him solid in half.
Those tumbling rounds, man, those, oof.
The
It
tumbling
was just
rounds.
one tumbling. All it took was one, but he got hit several times before that. Then that final shot was the one that
ripped
sent him
through the entirety of
where
his
he
body.
is now, looking down on us from heaven.
Looking up from us, looking up at us.
Yeah, looking up at us right now.
Wallace's funeral was held at the Frank E. Campbell Funeral Chapel in Manhattan on March 18th, 1997. There were about 300 people,
50
including
mourners.
Little C's, Queen.
Latifah.
Oh, Queen Latifah, not Freddie Mercury.
Oh,
Mace
Mace.
Evans, SWV,
SWV.
and SUV.
SUV.
Jay-Z,
Jay-Z and SUV, man.
Jay-Z, SUV, and WSV were all there. Alongside Damon Dash.
And DJP.
Charlie B. Da Brat.
DB.
Who was pretty sexy. Or she was.
Flavor Free. Oh, Flavor Flav.
Flavor
Flav. He brought all the flavor to the funeral. Where's the crack at?
Mary J. Blige was there. Little Kim. Run DMC.
DJ
Busta
Kool
Rhymes.
Herc, man. He's one of the originators of hip-hop. Shout out DJ Herc.
Foxy Brown. Spinderella. Salt and Pepper. Left
Tretch.
Eye was there. Left Eye.
Tretch?
Left Eye
DJ
died.
Spinderella.
DJ
Sister
Spindy.
Soja.
It was a great place, everybody, for everybody to gather.
And David Duncan from Dunkin' Donuts.
And remember,
because he bought a lot of donuts.
Remember Chubby and the songs that he gave and the things that he did. He did a lot of things.
Clyde Davis went. Isn't that a trip? Clyde Davis, old man Clyde Davis went. Right on.
But let me
To
tell
pay
you,
his
everybody.
respects.
When Biggie sampled this song and played it on a loop and sang his poetry over it,
Oh, yeah.
his English was spot on.
Spot on perfect.
And the world gravitated to it.
Everybody loved it. And this was after. This song was released right after his death. This shot all the way up to #1. So let's have a little silence, quick little silence for Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G.
Biggie
All
played
right,
Sega
everybody.
Genesis. He had a Sega Genesis.
He did. You're right.
His
You're right.
mama, his Jamaican mama, bought him a Sega Genesis when he was a kid, and he said he liked Sonic the Hedgehog, and he also liked the Batman game for Sega.
Love the Batman game. He also played Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
Yes,
Often.
he loved Mortal Kombat. In fact, he was obsessed with it, and when he wasn't selling guns, you could find him on his Sega Genesis and the big screen TV
Mortal Kombat.
doing fatalities on Mortal Kombat.
Also, NBA Jams was one of his favorite top 3 games too.
Yeah,
So he was getting down on some good games back then.
and also he did buy a Nintendo 64. Unfortunately, he wasn't around. Well, he
Long
was.
enough.
He
Yeah, he
played
was.
it.
He did.
He said his favorite game was WWF No Mercy.
And Beavis and Butthead.
And Beavis and Butthead for Nintendo. Wait a minute, Beavis and Butthead's not for Nintendo 64. Yes. So yes, there it is.
There it is, everybody. All right,
Biggie
so-
Smalls, who also had hits after his death, much like Tupac. It
Many.
was like blood for blood. It was even. It was even for
It was
even.
evened out. And the saddest thing is, throughout all this, we lost the 2 greatest rappers of all time. In some people's opinion, not in everybody's, but in some people's opinion, we might have lost the 2 greatest
We'd
rappers
like to ask the
of
audience
all time.
what would have happened? What would happen? What would life be like today
If
Biggie Smalls
and
and Tupac Shakur
were
were still alive? What would the music industry look like? What
And
would
what would
sound
be different? Yeah, what
sound like?
would it be different? Would the artists who are on top right now still be on top till this day?
How many more hits would have Biggie and Tupac have had?
What if they would have just made up and collaborated and created a whole album together?
What if they would have just fizzled out and ushered in a new class of rappers that they inspired personally?
And they produced them and they, created all their whole new genre. And the genre is something different that we don't even know of today.
And then we might not have the crap that we hear today
Yeah.
that
I
sells,
agree.
but it has no substance.
It doesn't. But I mean, these kids like it, so whatever you like is okay.
Kids will like
but,
what the Runner and Gunner podcast tell them to like.
and we will tell them to like only greatness.
Only greatness. So there you have it, everybody. Big Boy.
Big Boy is gone.
Deceased.
Tupac gone.
Murdered
Man.
and murdered.
And yeah.
One blue hand comes out the Chevy, the Impala.
Pop,
Cap.
pop.
Only one bullet
4.
makes it.
4,
Tupac
1. Tupac got
was
shot
hunted
several
down
times.
by Biggie. Hunted down numerous times by Biggie.
Numerous times.
Tupac couldn't even live a normal life. He had to live in constant fear, constant pain, constantly looking over his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And Biggie was the aggressor, constantly killing, constantly
Constantly
bullying,
eating
constantly
cheeseburgers,
cheeseburgers,
Pizzas,
pizzas.
ravioli.
But the real tragedy
fettuccine,
belongs to his
carne asada.
sons. The sons of Biggie, which he left behind.
Sons of Biggie, yeah. What's up, Sons of Biggie? Cool.
It's a tragedy
Shout
when
out to you guys.
a man dies, but it's a
Mr.
tragedy
Wallace Jr.
when 2 boys have to live there and afterward.
And it's all
Happy Halloween,
tragedy.
everybody!
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
And we hope you enjoyed these Runner and Gunner Halloween tales. And don't forget, we're not done yet. We still got plenty for you coming. So stay tuned all October.
Stay tuned all October, everybody. We got to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about
the top 10
politics. We're going to be talking about
Trump,
vegan recipes, and a lot of Trump versus Biden.
All that.
And a whole lot more after these commercial breaks.
Bring it down.
Happy Halloween. Deep down in the caves of Transylvania, Dracula, King Dracula, Count Dracula is thinking of some very special things to do for this Halloween. And what is he going to give out for candies this Halloween 2023? Well, let's ask him ourselves. Dracula?
All I have is these Reese's.
And can you give the ladies some Reese's?
Here you go, ladies. I want to suck your cups.
This Halloween, get yourself a big bag of Reese's peanut butter cups for half off when you shop for 2 for 1. Everybody out there, trick or treat. What's up, everybody?
Welcome back, everybody, and we are here. And rest in peace to Tupac and Biggie.
Rest in
the
peace.
The super special edition, Halloween edition of the Runner and Gunner podcast.
Runner and Gunner.
So now, we got to get into one of the most important parts that we were talking about from the beginning. If you stuck with us, you guys know what it is. The list.
The list. And what are we talking about? What list?
10.
Well, we're talking about
horror.
The top 10 horror.
Or also known as top 10 killers.
The top 10 OJs. 10 OJs for
There's
every
10 OJs for every day. So let's get into this.
No! Oh, man.
So run and hide. If you see the guys we are about to bring up, you better run, hide, find a hiding spot, duck underneath the bushes, jump into.
Let's say that you're out in your
cabinet.
patio, your kids are on the swing, and over the hedges, you see a giant forehead.
What are you going to do?
And it's OJ.
Oh, man.
And you see that forehead around the corner and cross through and push open your gate and come in your backyard. And mind you, you're blonde and you're a woman. You better freaking run.
Run, duck, hide. Because he's coming. And he's hungry for pretty blonde girls.
We're just saying, if you went and you took all the Friday the movies, Friday the 13th movies,
yes,
and you replaced Jason, maybe you could do it with AI nowadays. If you replace Jason with O.J. Simpson, they would still be spectacular movies.
They'd be great movies right now.
They would be. All right.
So here's the list. Ready, everybody? At number 10.
Number 10.
We have got one of the greatest, scariest science fictional characters as well.
Yes, one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever made was also a horror movie.
And he got a girl pregnant in the movie. So, I mean, what the heck was going on with that?
He got Sigourney Weaver pregnant?
And it's called Alien. Alien.
Number 10, everybody,
Scary.
is Alien with Sigourney Weaver and the guy from Mad About You, Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser is in there. Not to be confused.
Oh, wait, or was he in part 2?
Wait, what? I was thinking about the beer, Paul Wesson Paul or something.
I was thinking about Paul McCartney's solo career in the 80s.
I was thinking about Paul Mall.
I was thinking about Paul Bart, Mall Cop.
Me too.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we're not talking about that. We're talking about
We're
Alien.
not talking about a guy on a scooter.
The big black
scaring people.
skeleton thing with the long head and slime that bleeds through metal.
Big old tail and
Chases
long,
you
ugly
through-
arms.
Air conditioning vents and has eggs that
Fungus.
split open and have babies in the end of the movie. We're talking about that thing. Alien, the very first
Very
one.
ugly.
The very first one
Super
in
ugly.
1970, whatever.
70-something, and man, was
a
it
good
scary.
movie. What a good movie.
It was a great movie, and as a matter of fact, there's another great movie and another great villain that we're going to talk about this movie.
Wait, are we doing number 9?
We are getting to number 9 right now. And number 9 lives way, way down under, deep below, where you cannot find him. And he comes up only at certain times. He rises when he sees your body, and he sees you trying to get somewhere, trying to maybe swim.
Yes, everybody. In 1975, Steven Spielberg released a magnificent horror movie that made everybody stay out of the
So
water
great.
for years to come.
So scared of the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Jamaican Ocean, the Red Sea, the Black Sea,
The
Yellow
Blue
Sea,
Sea.
the Green Sea, the Sea.
Jaws, everybody. 1975, Jaws is number 9 in our list of most scary horror movie
Where
villains.
floaties can't save you, where nothing can save you, boats can't save you, engines can't save you, nothing can save you from the great white Jaws.
Yes. All right. Number 9 is Jaws.
Jaws.
All right, let's move on to number 8.
Number 8, everybody. Number 8 is the
He
Ghost.
killed Drew Barrymore? What other horror movie
Okay,
villain killed
Drew Barrymore. She answered the phone one day. She was just trying to cook up some popcorn and just see what's popping for tonight. Trying to throw in a horror flick in her VCR because that's how old this is. VHS, everybody. So she was trying to watch some VHS movie while cooking popcorn, and then her phone rang. It sounded something like this.
Hello?
Why don't you want to talk to me?
Who is this?
You tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Uh-huh.
I only eat popcorn at the movies.
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
And that line made
History.
that movie
Movie history.
famous.
Yes, there it is. What's your favorite scary movie? Why, you tell me it's King Randy Savage or is it Jaws Part 5? Everybody, number 8, Ghostface Killer.
from the Scream
Ghostface,
movie.
whether it was Sydney's boyfriend or Drew Barrymore's boyfriend,
Sydney.
whoever wore the mask and stabbed was the Ghostface.
So it was crazy. It was a good concept, good movie. Overall, he's very scary.
Everybody, now we are
So now-
on to number 7.
Number 7, everybody.
And it's not 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman and Kevin Spacey.
Ooh, that's scary too.
Nope, but instead it is a pin cushion man with a pin cushion face, and his friends at school used to say, "Your mama's so ugly that she puts pin cushions in your head."
But what if he was just trying to get relax and rejuvenation like they do in the Asian culture? They put pins all over the place in their face, in their backs, in their necks, and in their butts.
Everybody,
Well-
number 7 is Hellraiser, 1987.
Also known as Pinhead.
Also known as Pinhead, he is the scary movie villain.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He's pretty scary. It was pretty
He
violent.
controls some kind of weird little box, and then they have to unlock. If you unlock this box, he comes to life, and he could just take you into this kind of coffin thing and just take you to a whole nother realm.
Yeah,
and that's what he does.
So, Hellraiser, he would hypnotize you.
Yes.
You would turn into a monster, and then he put some kind of tool implanted in your skin with blood and veins and everything. And
With
he would
pins.
make you use that tool to kill innocent people. So, like, for instance, he One time he made these 2 twin cops, and he gave them like drills for heads. I can't remember if this is the first one or the third one, whatever.
It's one of them, yeah.
But they would stand on the side of an innocent person, and then they would drill their heads together, which would kill the person.
That is scary stuff.
Part 1 had some definitely crazy kills. It was all about the kills. He would make monsters, and they would kill. And it was like always very creative, and the deaths, very Clive Barker.
Creative. Yeah, you're right. The creative deaths were very good.
Yeah.
Very violent, too.
Very violent,
very
especially
gory.
for the 80s.
Yeah, it was very gory back then. So they're doing a good job with that. So
yes, number 7, everybody, is Pinhead.
All right.
All right, we're on to number 6. And it is your favorite movie, everybody, your favorite franchise that's even being created today.
Of all time. I mean, what do they got, like number 25 or something?
Yeah, I think
of this
Saw
one?
25 now.
It's coming out.
Oh, I gave it away. It is
Jigsaw.
Number 7, Jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
He killed Robin Hood, everybody.
From the original one.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights, of course.
Men in Tights, yeah.
He killed the Princess Bride, everybody.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He also killed Chester from Linkin Park.
Chester from Linkin Park. Oh,
Chester the booty molester.
Oh, God. No way. Don't do it.
I mean, he hung himself for some reason, right?
The Booty Bandit.
Jigsaw, everybody. He's number 6 on our list of
Number
top 10
6 on
horror
our
movie
list.
villains.
And then, wait a minute. We had a little debate between number 5 coming up. But first, let's talk about number 6 again. Number 6 did make you chop off your legs and wear weird masks. And then the masks would somehow collapse and he would make you do all these weird obstacles and stuff. And you'd have to do some kind of unraveling puzzles. All this madness. And
To escape.
Yeah. And if you didn't escape, guess what?
You died.
You don't live.
You got gassed. You got bear clawed.
So that's
bear trapped. You got your head bear trapped. You got burned. Something.
Jigsaw.
I did kind of like part 2. It was pretty interesting. It was,
It was
like
a good one.
The haunted house.
Because there's so many of them. I mean, there's
Oh, that part where they throw the bum, they throw him in the furnace to get the key, and then it locks, and they have to all listen to him die.
Yeah, well,
That was pretty crazy.
deep fried bum probably smelled pretty funky.
Probably
Anyway,
did.
so now we're going on to number 5, which we had the controversy because we had a tie. The first ever. You guys are witnessing history, everybody, in Runner Gunland. You guys are witnessing the first time ever a tie at number 5. So we got
Chucky.
Mr. Chucky.
Child's Play.
From Child's Play. Let's talk about Child's Play first before we go into the second guy.
1988, a year after Pinhead, a year after Hellraiser, Chucky came out. And it was about a little demon doll who came from the supermarket.
Scared
came
the
from
heck out of the children.
Toys R Us. It scared me. I was scared for life.
I was scared too.
I was 3
still
years
scared.
old. I was 2 years old when this thing came out, and I wouldn't go to the bathroom and shut the door because I thought Chucky would be standing behind the door as soon as I closed it. So for like that whole year, I went to the bathroom with the door open until my mom said, "You better close the door. Don't nobody want to see that.
Yeah, me
You
too.
better be a man."
I stuck my wang out with the light on, and my mom came and smacked me upside my head, and I finally closed the door. But I had to get super duper bright lights in there, like night lights, and I had to make sure that I was super secure because I was scared myself.
Yeah, Chucky, which is called Child's Play. They also
Chucky.
made Chucky 2,
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna
Chucky
play?
3, Chucky Bride, Chucky Sons.
And so with
Chucky
Chucky
TV
simply
channel.
is, it's very easily what happens is that he is into some kind of voodoo. The guy is an escaped psychopathic murderer. And then all these psychopathic different murderers, I believe, get into these Chuckies. I don't know if it's the same Chucky guy every time. But
Charles
I know,
Lee Ray.
Yeah, Charles Lee Ray was the guy. You're right.
Yep.
Charles Lee Ray. And he did some kind of voodoo spell on a doll. And it
Natu
so happened.
Feratu Blotto.
And it so happened that this mom picked the wrong doll, gave it to her child, and this doll was cursed
And it
with
was
the
the mom
soul
from
of
Seventh Heaven.
Charles Lee Ray.
Yes. So the mom from Seventh Heaven gave Andy the demon doll. And then after it scared
Not
her.
to be confused with Andy from Toy Story.
Everybody, on a side note, I know a girl who said that for years she played with the demon doll herself, personally. I looked her in the eyes and she looked pretty psychotic, so I kind of believed her.
She needs to stop wiggling her fingers.
She said her family got it from Mexico. They tried to get rid of the doll,
Wow.
and it came back. They sent the doll to Mexico, and it came back. She said recently
Wait a
that she
minute. So are you
found the
saying
doll.
that this is an alien doll? So is it an illegal alien doll?
She said that she had a doll that would move and walk at night, and it would talk to her at night, and it would come in from the bedroom. It would come into her bed,
Is the origin from Mexico?
and her parents would say, dolls don't walk and dolls don't talk.
Wow.
So scaring the crap out of the parents.
Yes.
So they tried
Scary.
to destroy the doll, and it would always come back intact and be sleeping next to the little girl. Everybody, I don't know. I know my dad, who's from Mexico, has some crazy stories about demon dolls. If you got any demon doll stories out there, why don't you go ahead and
Share them with us.
share them with us at the Runner and Gunner Show.
You guys know where to go.
All right, everybody, on
We
to
got
the next.
Instagram. We got Instacart. We got.
and we're on to the next one.
Okay. Oh, wait.
On and we're on to the
We
next
forgot
one.
to the second half of number 5 because there is
Number
a tie.
4.
Okay, let's go on to number 4.
Yeah, number
Wait,
5. Wait a minute. O.J. Simpson.
Wait a minute. It was Slash. It was Chucky
O.J. Simpson slashed
OJ.
that
So,
number. And so now number 5 is not
So
Chucky.
wait a minute. Let's transformate the whole story. The whole story
Okay.
now goes that O.J. Simpson's soul went into Chucky doll, and then some lady bought the juice doll, and
And the pull string juice doll.
the story tells the rest.
And then you pull the string and he goes, I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I got away with it
And you
too.
pull it again and he goes, where's Johnny Cochran? And so now number 5 belongs to O.J. Simpson. He slashed the competition,
Yeah, you're always dicing things up.
diced his way into number 5 place. It is no longer Chucky, but it is O.J.
Simpson. So remember, get your vitamin C every morning, kids.
Number 4, everybody. We got a guy from the 70s.
Oh,
who's
yeah.
got a new video
All
game out
right.
right now.
No, he sure does.
His name is
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Chainsaw
Charlie.
Mick Foley.
Leatherface.
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 Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The original. We're talking about 1978. We're not talking about any new, updated Leatherface.
1974.
Oh, 74. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, that's how scary it was. And that movie was banned worldwide in different areas, including the United States of America,
And
for
get
a while.
this, it was banned for so long that the sequel part 2 didn't come out till 1986.
Wow.
12 years
That's how
later.
scary this is. And the craziest,
started it all.
scariest part is it's a true story.
He's well placed right there at number 4 because Leatherface truly did start the whole slasher movie
He did.
horror
And
genre.
And what he would do
He's
is
before Jason.
scare the crap out of everybody.
He was before Chucky, far before Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
Far before Hellraiser, Pinhead.
And just a little bit before,
Maybe Michael Jackson as a kid was just as scary, but
he's a little bit before number 3, but we're going to talk about number 3 right now. But first, let's tell how Leatherface did everything with his chainsaw and what did
Yeah.
he do with those hooks?
so what happened was Undertaker threw him off the top of the Hell in the Cell,
Oh, okay.
and when he came to, he
Yeah.
said, I have murder on the mind, and I'm going to Texas.
Dang you, Undertaker.
Dang you, Paul Bear and Undertaker from
It
WWF.
was Paul Bear with that stupid ashes.
Yes, number 4, everybody,
What an
Leatherface.
ash face.
Go ahead and play the game. It was the game of
It's
last
a great
month.
game, though. Actually, it's still great. It's still out there. It's still new, and there's so many players out there. Get into it. Play that game.
Yes,
All right,
everybody.
so now we got-
So before we get into the top 3,
Oh, yeah.
we got the beer of the month.
Oh, we do.
It is a Brewery X beer,
Brewery X.
but it is a German style
German style.
Fast beer jar.
Fresh beer jar.
It is a
Bavarian style.
Fresh
Fresh beer lager.
Fast beer lager.
Fresh beer lager.
5.8%.
Yeah, just enough to keep you really happy. And guess what? It's only available during October for Oktoberfest.
Yes, and anywhere in California, just go get some Brewery X. They're Anaheim based, but this is German style, and so
So
we
it's a special
love our
edition.
German beers.
So yeah, they did copy pretty much the German. They got it straight
For
from
our European
the
friends.
German. They got it. The recipe was flown over all the way from Bavaria straight into Brewery X.
Yes.
And they unfolded the scroll and said, "I must copy this recipe from
Yes.
my great grandpappy."
But they didn't know how to read it, so they got Frodo the Hobbit to come
Frodo!
translate in Braille.
Frodo, come on in.
And then that's when they got the Fast beer recipe.
And Frodo gets 1.2% profit for
So
every
yes,
beer
once
you
again,
drink.
the beer of the
Beer
month.
of the month again
Brewery
is
X.
Brewery X.
Fest beer
jar.
jar. Go ahead and
Bavarian
get it
style, that
at your
is.
local grocery outlets.
It is amazing.
All right, on to the top 3.
Number 3, everybody. Oh yeah, you
Starting
know
with
what time
number
it is.
3.
You guys know.
We got the very special killer who just made a movie with Jamie Lee Curtis the
Oh,
last
yeah.
2 years in a row. Michael
Myers.
Not Austin Powers Michael Myers, but the murder.
Groovy, baby.
Yes, everybody.
Yes, he's crazy. So everybody knows the story of this guy. He's just a big old psychopath.
1978, Jamie Lee Curtis ran for her life and made movie history
Oh, yeah, she did.
as...
You say booby history?
no, that wasn't until the Eddie Murphy movie.
Oh, you said
Trading
movie.
Places.
Sorry about that. Movie history. Yeah,
Yes,
you're right.
movie
history.
history.
Yes, she did.
Everybody out there, go ahead and watch the 1978 film. Go ahead and watch the new one with Anthony Michael Hall, which is great. The
Yeah,
very
it
last
is
one,
great.
it's good. But that one before is really good. Halloween
the
Ends.
Halloween Ends and Halloween
Halloween
Kills.
The
Halloween
first one.
Kills.
Halloween Kills.
Halloween Kills was really good.
Great horror movie.
Man, and you're in for a surprise if you watch it. You got to watch it all the way to the end. You can't just watch it halfway. You can't just watch it, 1/4 of the way. You got to watch the full ending because it's amazing. Trust us, the ending is going to satisfy your every chilling
horror movie
bone needs.
Number 2, everybody.
Number 2.
As if it was taking a number 2.
You guys already know.
This movie scared the life out of me. I mean, scared the living daylights out of me when I was a kid.
All of them. I mean, they're all scary because who could imagine somebody that can get at you at your most vulnerable position in life?
When you're sleeping.
When you're sleeping.
Freddy Krueger, everybody,
vulnerable.
from Nightmare on Elm Street. Dream Warriors. That's Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3.
Freddy Krueger, the most scariest, craziest, second most, and he could get to you when you're sleeping. He could psychologically mess up your mind when you're awake because what you want to do when you're not sleeping is stay awake forever and ever. He will force you to do prescription drugs, cocaine,
Jump out the building, slit your wrists.
yeah, just go mad. Pretty much just go mad. He'll drive you to madness or he will kill you in your dreams. So you only got 1 or 2 options. Drive yourself mad or get murdered in your dreams.
Yes, and so as a kid, you love to sleep because you're growing. So this is a perfect movie to scare little kids.
Oh, yes.
Freddy
Very
Krueger,
perfect.
Dream Warriors.
Anybody from the
Patricia
age
Arquette,
of
1987.
about 2 to 15 to maybe even 22 to 52. I mean, it depends. Everybody has a different scare rate, but at the same time, if you want to get the little kids really creeped out at night and they won't even want to sleep anymore, show them number 2, which is Freddy Krueger.
Dream Warriors. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Patricia Arquette's in it. She's young. She's beautiful.
Pretty.
And she's getting scared out of her wits in this movie.
Screaming like crazy.
The giant worm that comes
Doing
out of
it
the
correctly.
wall.
Oh, yeah.
Like the demonic skin writings on the dreams. Her dreams are all the dreams.
They did a heck of a job on that, too.
Man, that
they did
directing
a heck of a
was
job.
so good.
Heck of a job, yeah. Shouts out to Mr. Wes Craven himself.
It wasn't Wes Craven. It was a new director.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
All right.
I
Wow,
know.
cool. Whoever did that.
But Robert Englund was still in it.
Robert Englund was in it. A lot of the original, well, not really, just Robert Englund. But yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, it was great. It was directed by Chuck Russell.
Chuck Russell.
Guy named Chuck Russell. They use a lot
Mr.
of
Chuck.
trick photography
It had to be
and
Chuck.
reversing. Like they ate the girl with the snake, but then they filmed it in reverse. So when they put it in reverse, it looked like it was eating her. Frightening visuals, just weird manipulated stuff.
Really cool stuff. Really cool graphics. Stuff that hasn't even been thought of or used back then. So, they experimented, and I gotta say myself, experiment successful. Great movie. Number 2, we got Freddy Krueger. But now,
Freddy Krueger.
On to the top winner of the whole list.
I think you know who it is, everybody.
You guys gotta know who's the most craziest horror villain. Number 1 horror villain coming, people.
Jason.
In movies. Jason.
And not Jason and the Argonauts, even though he killed Medusa.
He sure did.
Jason Voorhees.
Jason Voorhees. The little kid got drowned back in 1978, about 78 or 79. He got drowned. He got murdered. The counselors were not paying attention.
1980.
The counselors weren't paying attention.
And they took off their tops.
He was a little boy. They took off their tops, and then
they drowned him.
Yeah.
And they said, ha, your head's weird. And they pushed him into the water.
Because he looked weird.
The hot girl, too. The hot girl kicked his fingers off the dock.
You see, when they're hot, that doesn't mean they're nice all the time. So Just watch out for the hot ones.
So they kicked this little weird-headed kid's fingers off the dock, and he fell into the water and
He had
drowned.
deformities, but you don't pick on people for their deformities. You look
Heck
at their
no.
insides only. And that was a lesson to everybody. So the lesson was...
But they were at a camp where it was secluded. There wasn't too many people. There was no one to save him.
Yes.
He drowned.
And he did drown, and he never returned. Until...
He did.
Part 1, it was his mom that was killing everybody. Okay?
That's right.
They killed his mom in part 1. And everybody was happy. Nobody ever figured part 2's gonna come out. Like, what are they gonna do now? The killer's dead. No, everybody.
No, everybody.
The son
Jason
wakes up from
the pool from
below the lake. Wakes up. He says, Mother, what do I have to do? And he's not even a kid anymore. He's a grown man because he wakes up 10 years later, bigger, stronger. Nobody can stop him. He's a killing machine.
Yep.
And in the first one, he had a sack on his head with only one eyeball.
Yep.
And they still couldn't stop this guy.
They couldn't stop him.
Then in the third one,
The hockey mask comes.
the hockey mask comes into play.
And so does Teddy from Stand By Me, also known as Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman's in part 3. Yeah, and so does, what's the guy's name? Tommy. Tommy's in part 3 too.
If you ever played the game, Friday the 13th, the game, you
Friday
know
the-
all about Tommy.
You know who Tommy is because he gets resurrected every single match.
All right, everybody, there you have it. The top 10 movie horror villains. We hope you enjoyed the list. If you have a different list, how about you send us your list to us? What do you think? What do you think the top 3 horror movie villains are? We have Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Jason.
That's
You
number
could actually
one.
put those in any order. They're still going to be
Yeah,
the
you
top
can
3.
rearrange them, and yeah, they're still
Freddy
pretty
is
much.
number 1, Jason number 2, Michael Myers number 3. Boom.
Michael Myers number 1, Jason number 2, Freddy number 3.
Boom.
So everything, it all matches up, mix match, and it's all going to come out to the same result. Awesomeness.
Yes. All right, everybody.
All
So
right.
we got to end the show, but before we do, we're going to get to your favorite part of the show.
What?
Yes, we're doing it already.
Mine?
Ours.
Yours?
Yes.
You? Me?
Me.
Yes!
Yeah,
It's the
you.
best part of the show, and the greatest part of the show.
The greatest part of the show
Love
that
to
we love to call the...
Yeah.
Two-minute rundown.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
It
to
is
the
the
greatest
2-minute
part of the
rundown,
show of all
everybody.
time in your life. And now, what's going on in the Major League Baseball playoffs? Yes, the Dodgers are in it. Yes, they lost game 1, but don't worry. No need to worry because tonight they are going to prevail. I guarantee they're going to prevail tonight. And football, the NFL, things are still going on. There's only a couple of teams left that are still undefeated. The 49ers did beat the Dallas Cowboys last night. The Raiders are playing tonight on Monday Night Football, so stay tuned into that. We will beat the Green Bay Packers tonight. There's so much stuff going on. Playoffs are bound, and basketball is only around the corner.
That's right, everybody. It is awesome. I'm down for everything that runner is saying right now. Even though I don't even watch sports, I want the Dodgers to win, especially ever
Dodgers!
since they got rid of Arias,
Oh, yeah. The beater.
the beater. And what about Trevor Bauer being in hot water, too? I don't know. Everybody out there,
He beat 2.
we don't want any beaters in the Dodgers. We want to win some championships. Everybody out there, we want you to have a great Monday.
We ain't afraid of no D-backs. Let's go.
We want you to have a great Halloween. Go to your local Halloween haunted house.
Haunted houses, there's so many around there.
So many.
There's so many haunted houses going on already. Get your Halloween stuff up. Get your pumpkins.
It's Halloween,
Carve 'em
everybody.
in. Get all your scary stuff and put it up.
Yes.
And make sure that you put lots of blood and gory junk out there. Celebrate.
Make
Get
your
ready.
vegan
Get a
cocoa
lot of candy.
cupcakes, brownies.
Brownies, vegan free.
Candy
and remember,
corn.
You guys are always listening to the greatest gluten-free podcast
Yes.
in the universe.
Remember, everybody, we are the greatest podcast on earth. How come we could say that? Well, does any other podcast you know play Ray Parker Jr.?
Ray Parker Jr.
Ghostbusters? Does any other podcast have commercial-free entertainment?
Yeah.
Does any other podcast give you an original top 10 list, not biased or not influenced by any social media?
Yeah, and no.
Does any other podcast have an original mind, which is so original that you can't even comprehend the things that we're saying to you, even though we read them from doctors and psychologists and present them to you as informative bits of entertainment?
Yes, maybe, no. Yes,
I
no.
think not,
I don't
everybody.
know. All I know is I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Nor am I, everybody. Have a happy Halloween. Be
Because
safe.
Halloween is here.
Don't drink too
be
much.
spooked.
Don't eat too many candies. Don't have too many enchiladas. I don't know. I'm trying to have a party, everybody.
And we
Carve
hope
some
you guys
pumpkin.
are driving home, or if you're
Pumpkin.
still driving to work, we want you to have a safe drive wherever you may be going. Whether you're going up, down, left, right, whatever freeway you're on, whatever street you're on, wherever your car's positioned. You're parked, be safe too. Just watch out for them ghosts and them deadly venomous people. So everybody, just stay safe out there. Love each other. Be cool to each other. Treat each other right. You know, and if you can have a great Monday, then you can have a great life.
Yes, everybody, it's the Runner and Gunner podcast. We're going to ask you to, after you're done listening to the show, after it's done wrapping up and you hear the little end bit, we want you to turn off your cell phones, leave them into the car, leave them in the car whenever the chance you got.
Yeah,
leave them at
there.
home.
Leave them there.
Don't have the...
Spend time with your kids, with your loved ones, with your family, instead of staring at that phone all night.
Yes, so live a electronic-free life. You know, turn off the TV, turn off your cell phone, leave it all behind, go for a drive, take none of that.
Laptops off.
Take your family, just have some conversation, just have some brain activity, some eye contact,
Make
some
sure everybody's having a good day.
absorption of each other's bubbles. Drink some life, everybody. It is water out there. It is raining out there. Drink some life. Have a good Monday.
Drink up life.
Have a great life. We want you to succeed this week. We want you to do everything that you plan to do as long as it's under the good graces of God.
Yes.
We want you to succeed in it.
Succeed.
Have a wonderful week.
Proceed, succeed.
Jesus Christ the Lord bless you in your car seat with your booster seatbelt on. Heads up, hands on the wheel, eyes focused. Stay focused. Have wisdom. Have love. Runner and gunner.
knowledge.
What else?
And one more thing. A special shot goes out to Mr. John Lennon today. Happy birthday to John Lennon.
Happy birthday!
Let's go, everybody. And we love you guys out there in Runner Gunner Land. So, you know, just stay tuned for the next episode because we got another couple crazy ones coming up. We got the top 10 movies of all time, the horror movies of all time. So just get ready for that. And things are going to be great. Things are just going to escalate to greatness like they have been and they will be. Looking forward to the future. Looking forward to tomorrow. Have a bright life. Have a bright day. Stay awesome. We love you guys. Have a good day.
What's up, everybody?
everybody?
We are the
Runner and Gunner. The podcast, the greatest podcast known to mankind.
Yes, we're usually a video game podcast, but this month, all
Is
along,
only
we're doing the Halloween
the
special.
Halloween special, which means a lot of scary stuff in there. Very informative, very scary. You guys got to stay tuned into it because you have to listen to what we are talking about.
Yes, so next week we did a poll and we found out that everybody wants to listen about the deaths of Chester Covington and
Chester
Soundgarden.
Copperpot. I mean, Soundgarden.
Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Aaron Lewis.
Yeah.
No, not Aaron Lewis.
Aaron Burke. Burke.
Temple of the Dog. Not Eddie Vedder, but the other one.
Yeah, who let the dogs out?
Yes.
Yes, so that
The guy from Audio Slave.
And next week,
So
it's gonna be
Chester
on-
and Audio Slave.
So
We're
Chester-
doing the double homicide. I mean, double suicide. Yes. Everybody out there?
Yes.
So stay tuned. So stay tuned, everybody.
We're gonna kick some butt and tell you what's up. So yeah, you guys gotta listen, and if you hear it, you'll know that it is knowledge. And we're
Yes. So
Chester
be scared.
Copperpot.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Audio
remember,
Slave and Linkin Park, the double suicides. Next week. And
Yeah.
the week after that, we have a special episode. for
Super
the finale
special.
of Halloween.
The finale. Chester the Molester and Chester Copperpot go up against each other in a one-on-one tournament in the freaking Cage of Doom.
The Runner and Gunner Video Game Podcast
Is a free podcast.
The only free podcast.